Today we are going to be reviewing the VAXEE OUTSET AX. For those that are aware of ZOWIE, you'll probably be very familiar with their designs already, with a strong focus on shapes that are comfortable for all, focusing less on things that would make them stand out like flashing lights and gimmicks. Bold statements, will it pay off? Hold on tight friends, we are going in. So this mouse is 117.43mm long, between 65 and 59mm wide and 43mm tall, and it weighs 76 grams without the cable. You get 5 programmable buttons, a Pixar PMW3389 sensor that has up to 1000Hz polling rate and supports up to 3200 dpi, and a 2 meter long paracorded cable. If you want to purchase one of these mice, it can only be done through their website. It's also best to be very thorough with these mice, as one of the biggest factors in my opinion is the comfort they provide, so make sure you're sure the shape you choose is good for you before purchasing. If you are aware of ZOWIE products, you'll notice a lot of similarities here. I'd imagine that they have the same resources when it comes to making the mice, so that's probably why. The shape here is a very ergonomic right-handed design. I'll start off by saying that this is a really good mouse with palm grip. Other grip types will be comfortable though as well. As this mouse has a higher back, it's more likely to come into contact and get snug against your palm. The right side of the mouse is pretty much there as a little bed for your ring and pinky finger. Every single part of my hand comes in contact with the mouse. This is probably the most important part for any mouse that wants to cater towards the palm grip. It's just incredibly comfortable and also provides the option of keeping your fingers off the mouse pad if that's what you want. For the coating, it's very nice and a soft matte. Glossy variants are available if you're that kind of person that puts milk first in a cup of tea. Anyway, a feature that I've not seen before on any mice, if at all, is the different coating on the mouse 1 and 2. I'm interested in the reasoning behind this. It might be for extra grip. Personally, I've never found a use for grip tape. I can imagine it might be needed for fingertip and claw grip users, as there's more focus on keeping contact with the mouse with your fingers than your palm like I do. Regardless, it's a nice touch. I have no complaints with it. It's just a very interesting feature. Much like a ZOWIE mouse, it's very minimal in terms of branding. You have the model Outset on the side, and on the underside you have the powered by VAXEE. Very minimalist and nice. For the buttons, everything here is pretty much great. The mouse 1 and 2 switches are powered by Huano switches. These are a controversial choice as these can require a bit more force to trigger than some of the others that are being used, but I've never had an issue with these at all. I like them and I think they're great. The side buttons are very crisp, really nice to use, in a good location and are a good size. The thumb rest underneath is also quite large, so if you don't want to get close to the side buttons, you don't have to. The side buttons are easy to get to with a roll of a thumb for me. At the very top sits the scroll wheel, and I'm saving this one for later. On the underside you have 2 large PTFE mouse feet at the top and bottom. There are also an array of buttons underneath the PMW3389 sensor, which is completely fine and can pretty much manage anything you'll throw at it. You have DPI, polling rate and also click latency buttons here. Not sure why, it would be nice if they somewhat sold this feature to me, like why would I want to change the click latency, what's the benefit and what should I notice, but never mind. You can also change the lift off distance, which for the unaware allows you to set the distance of when the sensor will stop picking up your movements. Personally, a low medium one is best, so around 1 to 2mm, as you don't want your crosshair moving before you've even put the mouse down. You have a paracorded cable which is 2 meters. It says there's a raised front end, but I'm not seeing it here. Anyway, it's a fine cable, nice and light, and it sits in a mouse bungee fine. It doesn't get in the way and seems sturdy enough. I would like it to actually be raised like the ZOWIE S1C has. So overall there's a lot of positives with this mouse. You're getting pretty much something that is identical to a ZOWIE one. Great shape with a lot of thought put into comfort. When I'm playing with this, it's really nice. After some time I do actually like the mouse buttons having a more coarse coating. I think I saw VAXEE were interested in mouse grips, so that might be the inspiration behind it. I think it works well here, but I can see the texture maybe putting off some people. I describe this mouse similar to an old chair. It's unrivaled in terms of comfort, and there's just this sense of familiarity when you hold it because it sits on my hand so well. But like an old chair, there are parts of it that smell bad. Much like a ZOWIE mouse, it comes with a ZOWIE scroll wheel. Yeah, it's noisy, which at the point is just more annoying for a scroll wheel savant such as myself. The notches in the wheel are just like the ZOWIE S1-C that I reviewed. They're pretty poor, you can get the wheel stuck between a notch, and to use the mouse 3 switch requires more force than most. Honestly, I don't think this is acceptable. It's fine if you're using the same resources as ZOWIE, which is understandable if you're a part of a company, but I was hoping that there would be a case of improving on things that they themselves don't fulfill. It's like, we're going to start making products our own way, then you just make the exact same mistakes. I know it's just a scroll wheel, so it's not a big deal for some, but I think that in some games where having the scroll wheel used to jump or something else is pretty common now, and having something that's this lacking is a really big disappointment. I know that they say on their website they aren't interested in becoming a big brand that's successful, but I don't really think that's a good excuse to bring out a product with the same issues that have plagued the similar manufacturer for ages that they also have never addressed. Overall, I can recommend this mouse despite my small rant there. You are getting something once again unrivaled, apart from ZOWIE, in terms of comfort and simplicity. Whenever I move away from a mouse like this and have to use a different one, there is this huge desire to go back to it, as the natural holding position is just too good. I guess another downside is that you can only buy the mice directly through them at the moment, but they say this is because they want to make sure they deliver a good after sales experience and stuff, which is understandable. They want to be part of the process when people don't like their product so they can improve. Well, here's some feedback. Get a better scroll wheel. The price can be a bit steep at around $65 or 70 euros, but I think you're getting a very well made product, for the most part, for that money. It also does come with a 2-year warranty, which is a bonus as well. And even the best CSGO player in the world, apart from Simple, is using a VAXEE mouse, ZOWIE. Well, he's not using this model, he's using another one, the MP01G. The improvements over some other mice are minor, and it's still unfortunately a bit behind in what should be standard features, like a cable that is actually raised and an acceptable scroll wheel. But despite these flaws, playing with this has been incredibly comfortable. The large mouse feet on the outset pad is super smooth, and with a balance of just 76 grams, it all feels like a really well made cohesive mouse, apart from the scroll wheel.